What's up, guys? So we're back looking at another game from Luxuriant Sun, my team, and this is just a game where they're doing a scrim against a team that's actually quite a bit better than them in terms of mechanical skill and all that. So this was probably one of the better games of the evening, I would say. We actually did quite well in the early game, but as we can see from our team compositions, that's kind of to be expected. So let's have a quick look first at what our game plan is and what we could have done to maybe better capitalize on our win condition here. So we can see from the enemy team, we kind of know what they're looking to do, right? They have this team that's going to really excel in team fights. They're going to really pop off a 10. They're going to have the Dragon Blade. They're going to be able to pair that with the God. What is it? Why can I never remember what things are called in every video? Good Lord. The fear. Okay, we got fear. We got an AOE fear here, and I forget what it's called right now, but I'll remember later. Anyways, so I mean, we have a lot of tools to really split up our team and get picks on our very vulnerable Morales here. So that's just something we're going to want to be careful of. We probably aren't actually going to win a team fight against them because our team comp, our win condition, is very much oriented around putting out really aggressive pressure, just bullying the lane. That's our real strength. So we should be, as we will see, the team did excel in the laning phase when it was, this 4v4 setup. And then we kind of fall off once we hit 10. We kind of fall off because we don't have the same synergy with our team fight that they do. We're very oriented around getting picks. Their win condition is to try and initiate a 5v5 fight, preferably in a choke point somewhere, which is what they want, since they actually have an extremely vulnerable backline, which makes our comp really good against theirs if we play it right. If we allow them to get to 5v5 team fights, we're going to lose. There's a very good chance we're going to lose, especially if we're fighting them in choke points, here, whatever. So what we want to do is we want to try and pick somebody off. They have a very vulnerable backline. There's two really stellar targets for this, Gul'dan and Anna. Thrall isn't even a horrible target. Most of their team here, most of the vulnerable members of their team don't actually have a lot of mobility. So we should have a really easy time getting a pick on one of these heroes, preferably one of these two. And then doing a 5v4. That's the idea. We want to grab one of these heroes with Garrosh. We want to keep them there with the grenade and the stun and everything, and then we want to just pick them off really quickly and have our 5v4. And we're actually quite good at bullying a zone, right? So if we can make it a 5v4, we can kill off one of these key heroes, we should be able to hold the altar no problem. We've got a very, very tanky team, which is actually a really good team for Braxis. Zarya is stellar here. So anyways, that's our win condition. We want to get a pick. We want to initiate the 5v4. They want a 5v5, right? So if we're going into a fight where we haven't picked somebody off, we're doing it wrong. We really don't want to do that. So in essence, what we're going to be trying to do in the early game, we're going to have our foreman is going to want to be extremely aggressive, right? Since they have this advantage in the foreman, they're going to want to be extremely aggressive. Their goal in the early game, around the first altar phase, is to take this fort. That's what they want. And they can do it because the other foreman isn't going to be able to stop them before 10. Right? As long as they're playing aggressively and they're using their bullying capabilities, the enemy team's not going to be able to stop them, really, from taking this fort. There's going to be very little they can do. Now, when we look at the solo lane, we're going to have Sonya versus Thrall. Now, in this matchup, what we see, Sonya kind of gets a little bullied out here, which it's not horrible because we have such a strong 4-man. That's the kind of beauty of, you know, if you have a solo lane matchup where you're not necessarily capitalizing on opportunities, or maybe you don't even win the solo lane. As long as your 4-man is really, really good, that's okay, as long as you're staying safe and you don't die. And one of the things we want to be careful of is Genji's going to be rotating up, right? He's a pseudo-global, and he's going to be able to just hop terrain really quickly, come up here and get a pick on our solo laner if she's not careful, right? So the main thing that we kind of want to do is we just want to be a little defensive up here, make sure we're not missing soak, and just prevent them from doing as much damage as possible while we just plow through this lane here, right? And then ideally, what we're going to want to do with our team after we've done that is we're probably going to want to switch lanes. If we can down this fort really quickly, we're going to want to switch our solo lane with our 4-man. And we're going to want to come and do the same top. That's the idea, right? And then we can on this altar phase, hopefully, the dream, here's the dream goal. We get this fort, we have our 4-man rotate top, we have our solo laner rotate bottom. Now she's going to have a much easier time solo laning now that you guys have your defenses fully up and the enemy team doesn't. They don't have a fort here to defend their solo laner. So your ability to own this lane has increased. And then we have our 4-man come up here and do very much the same thing. And we want to try and have both of these forts down before 10. And that's going to require some really strategic aggression on our team's part. Some really strategic aggression and bullying with our positioning, right? So, with that in mind, that's how the early game, we want that to play out. Now, the idea being that that will really put us ahead on XP, but being able to get these forts, it'll put us structurally ahead, so that when this team does hit 10 and they pop off, we're going to hopefully be in a position where we can just say, okay, you know, they have this really strong engagement. Thrall, he's going to have Sundering, they've got Horrify, that's what it's called. They've got Horrify, they've got Dragonblade, they've got all these really good tools to just engage a team fight and then just clean up, right? So we want to make sure that we're not in a choke point, or Sundering and Horrify will just absolutely dicker us. We want to make sure we're not in a choke point, and then once they use some cooldowns, just back off. We have such great defensive capabilities. It's going to be really hard for them to deal with it if we're in a more open space like this, and we just back off. There's not going to be a lot that they can do. And then what, right? They've used all of their heroic abilities. Now we go bully them again. And we continue the entire game to try and secure picks with a toss, with follow up the grenade, that kind of thing. We want to just continually try and keep isolating people, keep securing picks, and just make it a 5v4 the whole game. And just use that to, if it's a 5v4, there's no way that this squishy team can bully us off these points. There's just no way that that can happen in a 5v4. So we just want to capitalize. We want to snowball our Zerg waves to victory. We have such a great offensive team that we can actually really do a lot of work with the Zerg waves as well. That's our goal, right? And we should be able to have an easier time of fulfilling ours than they have fulfilling theirs, but it's really on us to capitalize on that aggression in this game. So we're going to go through it. That was just a little long spiel there. We're going to actually go through it. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see where maybe some mistakes are made. See if next time we can fix them.
System 10 seconds. One.
And
time for action.
Yeah. So here's our 4-man here, doing things. Okay, this is good. Okay. So we're just gonna want to be we're gonna be really focused on Garrosh's cooldowns here. Now, I mean, it's easy to sit here and say hit your skill shots, right? But that's just a little thing I think maybe needs some practice on Garrosh. See, one of the problems with Garrosh, I think it's kind of, I don't know, I think of it as kind of a Kerrigan effect. If you're not securing picks, he becomes really an underwhelming hero. If you're not able to execute the combos, Garrosh,
The beacons are
in
energized.
similar fashion to Kerrigan, he just becomes a very underwhelming. So it's really important if you're going to be playing Garrosh to really make sure that you are practicing. Like, and we don't want to be aiming for Murder, right? A lot of these have been aimed at Murder. Oh, see, this is really good. This was beautiful. I really like that a lot. Very, very well done. That's exactly what we want. We don't want to see the focus on Murder. Okay? We want to see focus being on hitting Anna and Gul'dan. And I know that means you have to step up a little bit, but you have a Morales. You're free to step up. You have a Zarya. You're free to step up, right? Okay, so let's check how things are going in the top here. Yeah, so just playing a little bit safe here, knowing that the Genji could come up at any time. There was a lot of communication about when Genji's missing. I really like that a lot. It's really good. So this is all very good, right? Just being careful, knowing that. But when we see Genji on the map, here's the other thing. You can come and kind of contest this a little bit, right? He's lower health than you. You can contest this a little bit. Like, I think maybe this could have been just executed a little bit better. As long as you see Genji on the map, you're kind of okay. Okay, so we're getting... Garrosh needs to be getting in position for a pick. So again, this positioning is really problematic. Sorry that I'm pausing a lot. This positioning is really problematic. We're chasing Genji. Your only job, don't waste your cool. Your only job is to be keeping your eyes really closely on this Anna and Gul'dan. And if they're not nearby, great. Keep an eye on Genji, make sure he's not harassing Morales, but your main thing, don't just throw this out. Don't just throw this out. Make sure, don't just throw a Groundbreaker, you want to make sure you're hitting either Anna or Gul'dan. This is so important, I cannot stress this enough. When you are playing Garrosh, and I'm only being really repetitive here because you said that the little things really help you solidify it in your brain. So I'm gonna be really nitpicky. When you are playing Garrosh, don't just throw this out just because. It's a really underwhelming ability unless you actually hit your target that you need to be hitting on the edge, and that is Gul'dan or that's Anna. We need to scare them away. We need to either scare them away or we want to get that slow so we can wrecking ball them in. It's so important. I can't stress this enough. I honestly can't stress this enough. Don't use it on Muradin. Don't try and use it on Genji. Don't just throw it out because there's heroes nearby. Focus hitting Anna or Gul'dan, or if Thrall's nearby, okay, there's an argument to be made for that. But focus on hitting these guys in the edge. I'm like, hammer that into your head. When you are playing Garrosh, that is your one job. You have to secure picks for your team. Otherwise, you are dead weight. You're an anchor to your team if you're not doing that. This is good, but we didn't have any follow-up. Remember, you're a Garrosh with a Zarya and a Morales, and this is one of the things in the game I think kind of went really wrong. So we're getting bullied top. We need to be doing way more damage than they're doing top to bottom. So you have this amazing team. There's nothing they can do to you. You can hit them with your Groundbreaker and then wrecking ball them in your team, and you can step up to this. There's nothing they can do. It's a 3 versus 4 right now. They have heroes that are really squishy, that are really scared of you, right? You can step up. You have a Morales healing you. You have a Zarya shields. Step up. This fort, first of all, this front wall should be gone right now. Like, there's a lot of dancing around, not really doing anything. And this is fine. That was a really good grenade. I just want to give huge props to Hayes on that. I don't want to see you targeting Muradin for your throws. I get it, he's right there, whatever. More often than not, you're not going to get a kill on him. More often than not, I mean, Hayes, obviously, he was a god here with that grenade, but that's not going to happen every time. You want to be hitting these heroes, right? More often than not, Muradin's going to get away and heal up for free. So you want to be hitting these heroes. But that was a really stealth. But even still, we get to hit. Again, like, we're playing so defensively. What are we doing? What are we doing here? We're not cocktailing them? Look, think of how much damage we get from a cocktail. We're not stepping up to this wall to give Zarya damage from her shield. We're not tossing anybody. We're not bullying them at all. We're just playing this so safe. Why? It's a 3 versus 4. We know for a fact that Genji's top. We know Thrall is top. This is 3 versus 4, and we have a hardcore bully comp. Why are we not making these walls very, very sad and just falling apart? Why are we not taking this fort? Why are we not just bullying the shit out of this team? We can take this fort. If they're gonna keep this up, we can just take this fort for free. We can go invade the camp if we want. We can even step up to their keep. These guys aren't doing anything. They're just trying to kill Electra. They're up here doing what? They're trying to bully her out of soak. But we can take a fort for that. Instead, we're letting them get more structural damage. This 2-man is getting more structural damage than our amazing stellar bully 4-man. That shouldn't be happening, right? That should not be happening at all. You know, and I know that one of the things that was said in Discord earlier was that you need to play a little bit more defensively, and I think that kind of really shows why you guys lost this game. You didn't learn. It was too much defensive, right? Too much defensive going on in this early game. Bully them. It's a 2 versus 4. Holy shit! It's a 2 versus 4, and we're just dancing around. Where's Greymane going? Where the fuck are you going, buddy? Why? It doesn't matter what's happening up here. Like, this, we can take this fort. Thrall can't take this fort by himself against Sonya. She just needs to be playing defensively while we take this fort. So why are you going top? You don't need to be going top. Like, we get picks here. We get picks in our format. You don't need to come up here and say, oh, I can maybe get a pick on Thrall. The risk versus reward on that is just not, it's not worth anything. This is where you get your picks. This Garrosh Groundbreaker is where you get your picks. They can't kill anything now. They're not bullies anymore. Their Greymane's gone. They can't throw somebody and kill them. What can they, what power does your bottom lane have now? Now that you've gone top, this team can come in and they can bully the shit out of you guys because you have no damage. You have nothing to threaten them with anymore. All you've got is Zarya, really, dealing damage. All of your damage is top. One of them is Hearthing away because she's too low health. You're too low health. So what are you guys going to do? You're going to lose this altar, is what's going to end up happening. And there's no reason for that, right? Like, we don't know where they are on the map right now. We don't see where they are, but it's presumably going to be coming down here to take the altar because they know, okay, this was good. This was really good. But again, look at that. We don't have our Greymane. He just gets away for free. And bullies the shit out of us right back. Because we don't have anything to follow up our Garrosh throws. There's no reason that this should have ever happened in a million years. I mean, if anybody's sticking together this game, it's Morales and Zarya, and it's Greymane and Garrosh. Those are your packages that don't leave each other. And honestly, your 4-man wants to stay together. There's absolutely no reason why the Greymane should have done that. We just lost huge opportunities here. Huge opportunities. Because now we have to play more defensively. Because we can't kill anything. We can't bully them. They can come and bully us. So they're free to take camps and free to kind of do what they want because we're split up in such a configuration that we can't do anything about it, right? So we're fighting good. Again, I mean, I know it's tempting to want us to do that kill on Murden, but again, remember, you're trying to trade. He heals up for free. You want to be trading on Gul'dan and predominantly and trying to get a pick on Murden. It's great. It seems easy because he's nearby, but it's not going to win you the game. He's healing up for free and you're not. I mean, yeah, okay, you kind of are because of the Morales, but I mean, it's not a good trade for you. Because he's healing up actually for free. Or is your second? It's good to put damage on him like that. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Remember, he can't push you off this shrine. You don't need to waste big cooldowns on him.
Your healing is appreciated.
He can't take this from you if you guys are in proper formation. Right? See, like even this Genji struggles to do anything to Morales. You guys need to be bullying. And this is really scary. What's happening here? So we don't just leave Garrosh on the point by himself. Why are we over here? Like, we have the Morales heal up the Zarya. Like, you don't need a fountain. Why'd you fountain? You could have had Morales heal you up. But look what's happened here. By you going to fountain, by you following for reasons unknown, look what's happened here. We lost our shrine, and we can't afford to lose our shrine.
I see you.
We can't afford to lose our shrine. Because this is our shrine to hold. This is where our 4-man is. If anything is supposed to be secure, it's this bottom shrine. Top shrine is kind of up for, it's getting juggled around. So there's no guarantee that we'll be able to necessarily get it back or keep it. This is our shrine. And we just let them have it for free. So we need to be really cognizant of where the positioning of our team is. So now we have to be a little scared because he's got his quest done, which means we kind of want to avoid being in choke points. Again, I mean, we're throwing murder. Like, we've got to stop doing this. Bay, again, like, no, I'm trying to solidify in their head, we've got to stop doing this. I know it's really tempting. He's right there. He's being so aggressive. Oh my god, he's so out of position. This is a Muradin. Unless we get God grenades from Morales every single time, which we can't bank on. Like, Hayes is a great player, but we can't rely on that. It's not a winning strategy. We have to focus throwing the Ana in. That wins us everything. It wins us. I cannot stress that enough, please. When you're playing Garrosh, don't just throw somebody because they're easy and available. Same as a one-night stand. You don't just sleep with someone because they're easy and available. You've got to have standards. You've got to know what you're looking for. Don't lower that standard. So, okay, this is... Again, we're throwing the wrong target. We need to get... we need to cooldown. We can't waste our cooldowns on them. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get you to throw him in. That's why he's doing this every single time. He's going in, he's getting you to use cooldowns. He's trying to soak up as much damage as possible, and then he just leaps back out. Like a fucking friendly gazelle. He's just leaping back out of there. Totally unharmed. Like, I can't stress how important this is. When you're playing Garrosh, you become dead weight to your team. If you're not focusing your Groundbreaker and your Wrecking Ball on the appropriate heroes. Okay, so we got our Grey Mane back, it's good. We needed him all along. Again, we should not be splitting up the Dream Team. We need to get on the shrine now. I don't know why, okay. Why did you go back? Were you in desperate need of doing so? Sorry, I'm going back a little bit. Okay, you're going to the... Yeah, you're back. Okay, so I get that you want to back. I understand. Makes sense. But keep in mind, we don't have our Grey Mane here yet. So when you're deciding when you want to back, and this is the beautiful thing about continuing to pick up these regeneration globes, right? You want to constantly be picking up, bullying the enemies out of their regeneration globes, picking up these regeneration globes, picking up your own regeneration globes. And if you're consistently doing that, with this team, you have no problem bullying them out of their regeneration globes. No problem whatsoever. If you're consistently doing that, you're not going to be running out of mana. If you're not wasting your Groundbreaker on nothing, or Wrecking Ball on Muradin, you're not going to be running out of mana. And this is really crucial. This is something I want to just stress is extremely important, because this is... Oh, my laundry's done. This is kind of where we are starting to fall apart. You don't hearth when you are extremely necessary in a key time. And this is one of those things, because they're taking top, and now we can't get bottom. We have no way of securing bottom. The mystery invisible shriner, should be there. What are we fighting over? There's nothing here. So mana management. Okay, so now they have 10, we don't. And they've done exactly what they wanted. They have gotten the 10. This is exactly what they wanted. They got the 10, and immediately, the second they hit 10, they were so aware of this. The second they hit 10, you guys are 9, they just dive on you guys with all of their heroic abilities. And this was not the most effective Dragon Blade in the world. But it allowed them to secure both shots. When you guys had this glaring advantage, I mean, you got like this. Even though we got a triple kill, this was a huge win for them. You know why? Because we had a full bar. We could have got a full bar with Zerg, and they would have gotten absolutely nothing, and they would have 110% would have lost. They would have lost this fort. And they have good defensive capabilities with Golden, but they would have been in a situation where they're gonna lose so much stuff. It's gonna allow you guys to have complete and total control of the map to take this fort. So they won huge here. Because look at this. Right? Honestly. Now they're gonna have basically the same amount of Zerg as you guys. So you're gonna have to defend, and their defense is way better than yours. Your defense is not ideal. They have Nano Boost and Gul'dan. They can clear waves relatively quickly. So this was a huge victory for them. Even though they lost 3 and you only lost 2, the fact that they turned this from you guys getting a full Zerg wave to them getting nothing, they turned that to, okay, yeah, technically you guys might win Zerg wave here, but they basically have the same Zerg wave as you, and they can clear theirs faster. And so this was an enormous victory on their part, because you guys focused way too much on getting the kills down here, and nobody came in and captured this. When you're running a team like this, that's extremely that can bully people really hard and has great zone control, you want to fight on shrines. The only time you want to get off those shrines is when they're looking to engage a 5v5 fight and you start burning cooldowns. You just get off, you reset, and then you go back on there. Because in order for them to have a 5v5 fight, they can't have anybody touch. You just have Sonya take that shrine, and then as soon as their cooldowns are burned, then you can just start bullying again, looking for fix. And this is really, really bad. Like, you guys know that this was a mistake, so I'm not gonna harp on it. It was said, you know, in chat that this is a big mistake, but obviously we kind of just cleared 2 cooldowns for no reason. We kind of showed that we were looking to get on the Genji there. So the stim was really unnecessary, even if for whatever, it was really unnecessary. No matter what, that was just not. No matter how that went, the stim was inappropriate. Okay. So, okay, so we're just kind of trying to bend here a little bit. That's good. We got our 4-man together again. That's good. So they're structurally ahead, but it's not too bad, right? Yeah, they have the fort top, but it's not horrible. We're fairly even on XP. We're in okay. This, so when you're playing a tank, you have to really be aware of where the rest of your team is. Just standing in this bush here, leaves you open to this, getting collapsed on, and the rest of your team is nowhere nearby to help you. Positioning as a tank is really, really key. It's really, really important. And it's important that you always be near your team. Always have your team in range to follow up. And even if that positioning is not ideal, it's going to secure you more picks and more win conditions than just kind of being in the right place and your team is not there. So we got away, it's good. And again, our Morales is way out of position here, right? We're engaging, but our Morales is nowhere near, our Greymane is nowhere near. What are we hoping to accomplish with this? What are we hoping to do here? We're just kind of chasing heroes down, and the rest of our team is nowhere to be found. So even if you do manage to land the most, like, God Earthbreaker Wrecking Ball, like, combo in the world, who's following up? Zarya? What's she gonna do? Right? Make sure, this is something that I talked about in the last video for you, make sure that when you are positioning, you're positioning in such a way that there's actual capability for follow-up. Otherwise, you're just wasting mana, you're wasting abilities, you're wasting cooldowns. And you're just way far out. Okay, so I think again, this was talked about in chat where you know this was incorrect. We had the problem of chasing heroes down here. This is what I saw as being the micro moment that lost us the game, chasing this thrall down. So we have a 3 versus 4 with no tank over here, and they have all of their skills and abilities ready to use at a moment's notice. And we have no tank. He's way the fuck up here. Our Zarya is about to get pumped. Like, this should never happen. I mean, this is Hero League stuff. This is one of the things I kind of mean when I say we have to break some Hero League habits. This chasing, this idea of chasing, is one of them. So this is okay. But, okay, so let's back up. And let's talk about this team fight. Because this is really, I would argue, where we lost the game. So let's just kind of go through it. Okay, so first we know that chasing the thrall is, right? We know that. Now we're in a situation where the Morales path this way, which isn't wrong, because she knows everybody's here. The problem lies in the fact that the Morales is now split up from the rest of the team. She can't start healing Zarya right now. She can't start healing Zarya, she can't start healing Bay, she can't start healing anyone because she's path this way. She has to run all the way over here. And she, you know, to Hayes' credit, he can't really run this way because he knows everybody's here. He's going to get flanked, and he doesn't have a tank with him to prevent that from happening. So we all need to be pathing a little bit more safely. We need to have our tank over here, not chasing a thrall, and we need to be pathing a little bit more safely to avoid. We knew they were here. We knew they have all their ultimate abilities. We do not. The last thing in the world we want to happen is to get caught in this choke point where we're going to have a Sundering, we're going to have a Horrify, we're going to have a Dragon Blade, and it's going to hit everybody. Like, and the corruption does so well in choke points like this. We don't want to be fighting in this choke point. We wanted to path around this way. We wanted to have Bay kind of out in the open here. And then if we see them start trying to collapse on us, we just want to go out in the open. We want to fight them here. This is where we want to fight them. They're not going to get, like, we're kind of spread out here. They're not going to get any value. They might fear one person. They might be able to get Dragon Blade on, you know, one person. They might get a Sundering on 1 or 2 people. Like, they can't make use of their abilities in open spaces like this. So this is really big. So this was good. I really like this. But I mean, again, we're in this situation where sure, yeah, we're chunking out the burden. But in order to do so, we've put ourselves in a really precarious spot. That's what he's trying to do, is soak up damage to enable his team to get in position to do this to you guys. And this was a god-fearing. And there's just absolutely nothing you guys can do about any of that when we're fighting in this little confined area. Now they have the freedom to take over the map. Because that's what they want, right? We're just going to pause it here. That's what they want. They want to fight you in this little confined area. Because once they kind of engage with their abilities, that's it. They've committed to this. And if we're in this little choke point, not only are all our abilities hitting us, but we have no way out. So we want to engage them in open spaces so that their ultimate abilities can't hit us all. And we have the option to retreat. Once they start burning things, we just get up. We go back to the safety of our fort. Even if we have to let them have a fort for that, we can then go in, once their heroic abilities are down, we can go in and blow them back. We can start getting picks while they're trying to hit our fort, right? We can throw people in. We just have to stop focusing so hard on this murder. So again, we're split up. Should we defend the boss? Defending a keep is generally more important than defending a fort. I shouldn't even say generally, but always. We have the ability to, when there's still a gate here, we have the ability to get our Garrosh, throw them in, follow up with the Grey Mane and everything, and get picks. This is what we want. You guys talked a lot about how, you know, maybe a win condition doesn't tell you what to do when you're a level down or 2 levels down. It does. It 100% does. Your win condition is to get picks. That's still your win condition. Can you get picks over here? No, you can't. So being over here is not the optimal decision. Defending this fort over defending this keep is not the optimal decision. Especially when we kind of know where the next surge wave is coming, right? It's coming up here. This is the main thing. The win condition does tell you exactly what you should be doing at any given moment. Because you know you should be getting picks. You're like, okay, there's a wall here. Like, look at this. If we were, instead of focusing on boss, okay, so yeah, it's like, oh, they got the boss. Oh no. Then we look. The second we see them show up here, we know there's mercs coming up this way. We know that this is a keep wall. This is more important. This is way more important. And we see them. I'm backing. I shouldn't be backing. I don't know why I'm backing. Okay. We see them here. We're like, oh my god, the entire team's there. Everybody should be there. Right now. You're like, okay, you're backing, whatever, but just mount there. Mount with your team. Mount with your team. It's gonna take you more time to hearth all the way here and then walk with your mount all the way over here instead of just kind of mounting up with your team. Because what if by the time you get there, they're over here and you can, and over here, while you're here, you can still secure a pick, right? Like this is just a little thing that, again. So everybody should be here. We should have been here like 20 seconds ago, 30 seconds ago. And again, we're focusing on getting the Murden in there. Why are we doing that? I know I keep going on and on about this, but this is really, really, I don't want to say bad, but it's bad. So this is ideal. Like, okay, this is good. We're not actually in a really big choke point here. We could fight them. We could fight them. And like that Sundering didn't really do anything. They just blew Sundering, right? So we can fight them here. We can get hit. I wanted to see. I'm backing up again because I want to just really hit this point home today. This is not where we want our groundbreaker. This is where we want our groundbreaker. We want this Gul'dan tossed in. If we are tossing this Gul'dan, even Thrall, I would argue he's not as good a target. We want this, but if all we could get is the Thrall, fine. These guys can get out. This is what they want. They want you. This Muradin wants you to use his cooldowns. Your cooldowns. This Genji wants you to use your cooldowns. It's not doing anything. And I would argue that I think Stim was not the way to go here. Because if you look at your win condition, you're not looking to team fight them, right? Stimpak is really great when you're looking to create a hyper carry on your team, in like Greymane or something like that. But your whole win condition is just map pressure, bullying them in various areas around the map. And imagine how much easier your job would have been as a team if you had medevac to clear. You had cleared out this fort. It cleared out this fort. Okay, we're just gonna medevac over here. We're gonna take their keep wall. And then, oh my god, oh shit, what do? We have to run over here and try. But look how open this area is. They can't fight you here. They can't fight you here, and you guys can easily get picks. You pick people from over the wall. You grab an Anna, you throw her in. Like this is your bread and butter. Fighting in these open spaces while you're sieging. This is what you want. And medevac allows you to get in position to do that extremely quickly. And then as soon as they blow all their cooldowns and they try and engage a team fight that might be favorable to them, you just medevac up. You medevac over here. And you do the same thing to this fort, and now their cooldowns are down. What do? Stimpak's not doing anything for you here, whereas medevac enables your win condition really hard. Because you just want to be bullying every area of the map. You just want your team to be just map bullies. So aggressive, just aggressive map bullies. Okay, this is scary. We're looking like, okay, so you see what they're doing. They're backing up until oh shit, here's a flank from Muradin. You guys are in a choke point. Look at that. Wow. And so here they come. Now, granted, they're a little out of position. They should have been just kind of posturing up here. But that's okay, because you guys are still fighting in the choke point. So here comes Genji, here comes the Longbow, you've got Horrified, Dragon Blade, and that is just like game over for you guys. Instead of having a medevac to enable you to fight in these really open spaces, in really aggressive positions where you can easily get picks, you're fighting in these choke points where they are just going to mop the floor. think I kind of, you know, I've said this enough this game. You guys should know that. I think really at the end of the day, this is why I'm pausing again, because the game is over at this point. We know what's going to happen. I actually did see this replay already, so I do know that this is kind of where things fall apart and you guys lose. But I mean, this is why I kind of say win conditions are so important, because it lets people know what ultimate ability to choose. When we end up in a situation where people are choosing ultimate abilities that maybe don't fit the situation as much, we're hampering ourselves, right? We're not doing ourselves justice. This could have been a winning comp really, really easily against this team, and we just didn't execute. We were not being aggressive when we needed to be aggressive. We were not focusing the proper target for picks. Going into the game, what I would really like to see you guys doing when you're in draft, if you're picking Garrosh, I want you guys to be more clear. I know it's easy, you know, it's one of the things that's kind of come up a lot where people are like, you know, people should just know what the win condition is. People should just know who the focus target is and stuff like that. But when you're in stressful situations, you can't reliably expect people to remember these things unless they have a clear, concrete vision from the get-go of what exactly they're doing with their abilities, and they're executing that all game. When shit hits the fan, they're going to just start doing whatever. They're not going to know what to do. So it's really, really important to talk about these things in draft so that, you know, in those moments of clarity, people can execute the comp as it needs to be executed. And so what we need to be doing in draft is we need to be saying, okay, so Gul'dan and Anna are going to be the toss targets. We want to be looking for that every time. And that will prevent Bay from continually trying to toss the burden just because he's looking for a toss. He's trying to make a play. No, he knows actually the only way I can make a play is to toss one of these two people. So that's what I'm going to focus on, not just tossing anybody that's nearby. Right? And it's these little things like saying, okay, in draft, okay, so here's what we're trying to do. It looks like we have this team put together, this really aggressive bully comp. We should be able to siege really well. Oh, it looks like they're putting together a team that's really good at team fighting. So we're probably going to want to avoid team fighting. Maybe we want to go for medevac this game. And really just in draft, instead of talking about, you know, cat pictures and stuff like that, or I know that doesn't happen a lot, but instead of talking about, oh, you know, I kind of feel like maybe Li Ming would go good here. I don't know. Maybe Dahaka. I don't know. That feels okay. Instead of talking in terms of what feels okay or what seems like a good pick because you don't really know what to pick, look at instead not at this necessary, like not necessarily at the synergies between heroes, but instead look at what you're trying to do. Say, okay, guys, we are trying to execute this Zarya Siege comp. So what goes well with that? What would enable that? What would enable this idea of a Zarya Siege comp? What would enable this Garrosh pick comp really well? What ultimates can we pick that will enable those things? And really not assuming people know, because one of the things that can often happen is, and I know I'm talking a lot, but I think this is really important because I think this is, I know you guys maybe disagree, but I mean, this really is what I think your area of weakness is. The biggest area of weakness you guys have is you have all this really advanced knowledge of how heroes interact together and their talents and all of these things, but you're missing a few of the foundational building blocks that are really, it's like going and you're in an advanced trigonometry course, but you're missing a few key understandings of how to actually just multiply numbers together. You don't actually maybe know how to multiply numbers together that are bigger than 3 digits or something. There's key fundamental building blocks that are missing in your repertoire, and it's easy to sit here and say, oh, we can theory craft about Tyrael's talent build all day. We're beneath talking about such simple things as should I go for stim drone or medevac, or you know, I'm a mechanical god. I don't really need to be told that I need to be focusing the Anna or the Gul'dan. But these are, you guys have all of this advanced knowledge which can really work to your advantage, but you're missing these key building blocks that are really holding you back, and I think it's something you should talk about. I think it's something that should be explicitly said. Even if it seems like it's silly and it's a waste of time, it makes a big difference. Cognitively, it makes a big difference and it really solidifies those areas of knowledge that maybe aren't as solid. So, I mean, you can watch the end of this one. Maybe I should have just played through the whole thing and talked about that at the end. But in terms of what to do at any given moment, that should just be known to everybody on the team based on what they're doing. So I'm going to give an example of what I mean by everybody should know what to do. I'm just going to pick a random arbitrary time in the game and say everybody should know what to do based on what your win condition is. Here's why. Okay, so we're in this situation. Got a Zerg wave pushing top. They're all top. What we want to be doing is we want to clear this wave as quickly as we possibly can. Sonya, she should know that there's going to be a big Zerg wave. She's one of the better forms of clear. She should already be here. She should know coming up. She should know where the Zerg wave is coming from. It's visible on the map. And she should be there the second that it spawns. Greymane is just going to want to be focusing on clearing this wave as fast as possible. He should be in wolf form. He should be cocktailing. I don't really know what he's doing right now. He's cocktailing. It's fine. We want to be down in this as fast as possible. That's exactly what we want to be doing. We want Morales. She knows exactly what she should be doing because she knows that Sonya should be in the wave. Sonya's going to be taking a lot of damage in the wave because of how much damage these guys do, but she's really good clear, so we want to be focusing on healing her up. We want Zarya shields also on her, so Zarya's doing more damage. This is still example. There's not a lot of team fight going on right now, but this is just what I mean. It's everybody should already know exactly what they should be doing at any given moment based on what they're doing. So you need to just clear this entire. So let's pick another one. Hopefully this is a better example where it's actually okay. So we know exactly what should be happening with every single one of our team members right now, just based on our win condition, right? So Bay should be looking to posture up right over here as soon as that, and he should have his groundbreaker just hovered, ready. You know, on release, hovered, ready over this Ana. Doesn't matter what this Muradin's doing. He's just being obnoxious. Zarya's going to take care of Morales. That's fine. We're looking. We want Garrosh. He's hovered over. He's ready to hit the Ana, get the Wrecking Ball on her right over here. He's ready to do that. Right? We know Morales should be knowing, okay, we're looking to get a pick on this Ana because that's our win condition. So I want to be as close as possible to get a grenade to prevent her from running away. So we actually secure that kill. Greymane should know, okay, we're looking to secure a pick on this Ana. That's our win condition. So I should be here ready, like right over here, ready to follow up on whatever this Garrosh is doing and just chunk this Ana out as soon as he tosses her in. Zarya knows exactly what she's supposed to be doing because she's like, okay, this Muradin's going to be trying to get on the platform and harass us. Bay is going to be looking for a pick on this Ana, so he's not going to be able to really peel from Morales. So right now it's my job to harass this Muradin and kind of act the bruiser that I am, kind of harass him as much as possible, give shields to Morales, give shields to whoever, and try and prevent him from just doing any damage until they are able to secure that Ana pick. As soon as I see the throw in, I'm going to follow up on it. And Sonya knows what's supposed to be happening because she's saying, okay, I know they're looking for a pick on probably the Ana or the Gul'dan, whoever gets in position. So my job over here, I just need to be worried about people trying, the Genji and the Thrall teaming up to kill me. I just need to be soaking XP up here. I don't want them to get that level 10 over us, so I need to safely soak XP up here by myself. And I don't need Greymane to help me. I just need to play defensively, right? This is what I mean by, if you know your win condition, you always know exactly what you should be doing at any given moment. And that's something that's really grounding to people when they start getting in hectic situations, when they start seeing, oh God, they have a 2-level lead over us. Wait, okay, what's our win condition? We can still do this. We can still execute picks. We still have all the same tools that we did at the very beginning of the game. The win condition hasn't changed at this point. We still want to secure picks. Okay, so knowing that, who's stepping out of position? Maybe we'll look over here. Take another example. Oh, this is still a Zerg wave. Still the Zerg wave. Come on, we want posturing examples. Okay, so over here, again, we want to look at it like, okay, so we know that they have There are 4 men here. We can't see necessarily all of them, but the fact that Thrall's here, Genji's here, means that all 4 of them are probably here, right? So we see all 4 of them. They're looking for a team fight. That's exactly what they want. That's their win condition. We don't want to give them that. We don't want to give them their win condition. So instead, let's posture over here in an open space. So that in order to actually step up and try and take this fort, they have to put themselves in position to die. So Garrosh is going to want to be over here thinking, okay, if they actually want to push this fort, I know our win condition is to get a pick. They want to push this fort, they're going to have to come down here. I'm going to start posturing my groundbreaker over here. I don't know why it's posturing over here, but we want to start posturing it over here. We want to be positioned here, start having it hovered over, ready at a moment's notice to pick off that Gul'dan, pick off the Ana, right? Morales is going to want to be positioned a little bit behind Garrosh so that as soon as the throw happens and they start trying to walk away, the grenade comes out, pushes them right back. We know exactly where she should be. The Greymane's going to want to be following up. He's going to want to try and be somewhere over here in one of these areas to try and follow up. As soon as the pick happens, he's in range to use his E and dive onto the enemy. And the Zarya's going to be like, okay, Genji's probably going to try and flank. So I want to be in a position where I can protect Morales from this flank, maybe around here, but I am also still in position to use my ultimate to block off the exit. So if we can get that, if we can secure a person coming in here, I can block off and split up their team. So we have, you know, Gul'dan gets thrown in here, right? And I was like, oh no, I'm going to come in and try and save him. Then we just block this off. We block this off with Garrosh. We block this off with Zarya ultimate. And we have a situation where Gul'dan and Ana are dead. And this is how we can know at any given moment. If we know what our win condition is, we always know where we should be. We always know what our teammates should be looking for. And that's really where synergy comes from, is everybody being on the exact same page to the exact same goal. And this is what they will tell you. I mean, maybe I'm biased because, you know, I study cognitive science, but this is what they will tell you in sports psychology. This is what they will tell you in when you're trying to train people for you're trying to train employees for business, get them fired up, get them on the same page. This is military psychology, this is business psychology, this is sports psychology, all of these things. Everybody has to be on the exact same page and have the exact same goal in mind. And that way, all of their actions will facilitate going in that direction because they know everybody else is going in that direction and they will do what they can to help. And this is an example of people not knowing kind of what's going on, really. Not knowing what to do. So I know this was a long video. I will end it there. But I really hope you guys kind of think about what I said in terms of win conditions. I know I harp on it a lot, but again, I honestly, I really think that this is the thing the team needs the most. I think it's the really foundational thing that's missing. And that's why so many of these games look really Hero League-y. Because it's very visible in terms of the rotations. It's very visible in terms of how people are using their abilities. It's very visible in the draft. It's in all aspects of play. You watch this, you look at this team, you see this is a team, you see that this is a team league game. This is a high-level team league game because of just how they all know exactly what everybody's looking for. And this looks Hero League in terms of the way people are positioned, in terms of the way people are using their abilities and stuff like that. So I want to see these games look more like Team League games than Hero League games when I watch the replays. And the main way to do that is really just being all aligned on the same page. Again, talked a lot. I will stop harping on this point. I hope this was a helpful replay review. Again, I really thought the feedback was helpful before. So give me any feedback you have. And again, that would probably be very helpful. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later.